Welcome to KO Bets. Let me pause this here. My name is Bill. Today we're going to go through the fight tomorrow night, UFC 269, Oliveira versus Poirier. Tuivasa's on the card, so you will only see me sipping a beverage out of a shoey. Let's get it going. Before I get started, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. You'll get notified every time I go live. We do a UFC show every Friday, and then on Sundays I give my NFL picks. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that this Sunday, though. Tomorrow evening I'm going to a wedding. It's going to be a great time. And then I'm going to probably... I'm going to probably wake up a little bit late on Sunday, so we'll see if I do a video that day. I don't know. We'll see. Probably not, though. If I do, it'll just be, like, live. Off the top. Unscripted. Basically what I'm doing. In the first fight of the night, we've got Jillian Robertson taking on Priscilla. Let's see if I get it right. Cachoeira. Oh, that sounds great. Priscilla Cachoeira. That sounds better. Jillian Robertson, 9-6. Priscilla, 10-3. Priscilla's the underdog, plus 310. Jillian is minus 410 on the odds. Jillian Robertson, she's a big grappler. She's on a 2-fight losing streak right now heading into this bout. She uses... I think she does a decent job of using the striking to set up the takedown. She definitely goes for the takedowns. I expect her, to try and implement some sort of ground game plan against Priscilla. Priscilla... I mean, this is absurd. So, I mean, she's a good stand-up fighter. I think I give her the advantage in this bout. But, for every 3.8 punches she dishes out, she absorbs 7.03, and that's kind of like she just marches down her opponent. That's kind of her style. She's on a 2-fight win streak. I mean, if this is fought on the feet, you know, I would say Priscilla's a pretty live underdog, but I think Jillian Robertson is going to get it to the ground. She's my money line pick. I think she can get the submission even in this. You know, I think, you know, maybe 2 to 3 takedowns in the fight. I think she can get that. Steal a couple of rounds on points alone. Very feasible. I'm not going to nominate any sort of prop bet. I will say Jillian Robertson is at minus 410. Those are tough odds. I do think she deserves to be the favorite, warrants favorite odds, but minus 410's a lot. Probably going to avoid that one personally. Randy Costa taking on Tony Kelly. Randy Costa 6-2, Tony Kelly 7-2. Costa, all 6 of his wins have come via KO. He is a good boxer, good striker. Tony Kelly on the other side, respectable stand-up, but I think he's going to be outclassed by Costa on the feet. I don't think Kelly's going to get this one into a grappling match. I think Costa, I think I looked at it, yeah, if you look at his takedown defense, I mean, what? He's got 4 fights in the UFC, he's 2-2. You know, but he does have takedown defense, so he's going to push the pace on the feet. Really good striker. Crazy. 100% finish rate. You know, both ways, wins and losses. So I think Tony Kelly, his best shot of winning this is probably getting it to the mat as soon as possible and as often as possible, and maybe searching for a submission win. Yeah, so Costa's the favorite. I don't know if I said this, minus 170. Tony Kelly plus 150. I'm going to go with Costa at minus 170. I mean, it is nearly a pick-em in the odds. I do think Costa warrants, you know, a little bit of a tilt as far as favorite odds. But, I mean, and then the Costa KO decision, it's minus 165. So, like, what's the point, right, of just eliminating the submission finish for, what, all of 0.5 points, right? So I'll bet on Costa on this, on the money line. I like Costa. But I don't know if I'm going to necessarily chase any sort of, you know, picking the outcome in that fight. I do think Costa can get a knockout. A knockout is minus 110. It's like, come on. You know, it doesn't get me going, you know? Ryan Hall against Derrick Minor. So Ryan Hall, jiu-jitsu, great jiu-jitsu artist, goes for the ankle locks, likes to, you know, roll around, is pretty unorthodox. I'm not the biggest fan of, I think he is a little one-dimensional. He does have a knockout win in the UFC, but I just think he's a little one-dimensional, and you know, gives me like Ben Askren-y kind of vibes, except he does go for the finish, I'll say that. You know, he's not going for decision wins necessarily and just wrestling all the time. What the my mic is so far away. What am I doing? I'm just chilling. Relaxing in my own house. Alright. That's hilarious. Ryan Hall, minus 200 odds. And as I was saying, I don't know if I said it loud enough, but I'm just, oh my goodness. I think he's a tad bit one-dimensional, but he's great at what he does, you know? I'm not the biggest fan of like his approach to the sport, but you know, he's going up against Derrick Minor, who's very good grappler in his own right, gets a lot of rear naked chokes, has 80, you know, the 85% submission rate, even higher than Ryan Hall. But you're going to see Ryan Hall throw out a submission. It says 0.86. I mean, probably because whenever he gets a submission attempt, it's good. But yeah, I think this match is going to end up on the mat. And I just perceive Ryan Hall maybe as the better jiu-jitsu artist. So, I mean, Derrick's good, but yeah, I'm just liking Ryan Hall to win a grappling heavy match, to be going for submissions and different stuff. I do think if Ryan Hall's just going for submissions from his back the entire match and he doesn't get anything, like Derrick could get like, you know, a majority decision or something like that. But yeah, I don't think Ryan Hall's gonna get submitted. I think Derrick could. I think Ryan could win a decision if he's dominating in the grappling, and I think Derrick could win a decision. I give Derrick probably the advantage on the feet, but I'm gonna go with Ryan Hall. I don't love those odds at minus 200 though. Like, maybe a little more of a pick 'em in my head. Like plus 170, that's pretty decent value, I would say. But I don't know. Like, how does Derrick look without grappling? Trying to implement a grappling game plan, and maybe he's just super confident in it. But I don't think that's going to be such a good idea for Derrick in this fight. I'm probably not going to cast any sort of bet on this fight either. This one, I mean, I do like Jillian Robertson in the first one. It's just minus 410 odds. I don't know. Next fight, we've got Miranda Maverick against Erin Blanchfield. Miranda Maverick's the favorite at minus 140. Erin Blanchfield is the underdog at plus 120. Erin Blanchfield, she looked great in her debut. You know, there's really not much to nitpick about that debut. She looked amazing in it. And then on the flip side, you got Miranda Maverick, who's on a 6-fight win streak before she lost her last fight via split decision to Jillian. Miranda carries probably a little more experience for sure into the octagon, right? Just has more experience under the promotion of the UFC. So, did Erin Blanchfield miss weight? It kind of looks like it, doesn't it? I don't want to pull up the video. I just want to know, like, okay. No, she's fine. Okay. Whew. That worried me. It's weird that, like, you know, Miranda has that weight. I mean, maybe Erin was at, like, a catch weight or something in her last fight, and it hasn't updated yet, but it made me a little nervous. But you know, I had a little bit of a discussion with someone in a Discord group for stocks, and he shared some thoughts from someone, like, this is a pick'em, and like in these pick'em situations, like when you're betting, so if I'm gonna do a round robin, and like there's really nothing wrong with either of these fighters. They're both really good. You know, I might just, it might just be wisest to settle on the one with a little bit better odds, plus 120. And Erin looked great in her last fight, and is it going to be a decision? I think maybe, but I don't know. Erin Blanchfield, she was aggressive. She looked really tough. I don't know what to think, but I'm going to roll with Erin Blanchfield on the money line. And like I said, if you're going to be like chasing a couple of round robin bets where you're doing like 2-fighter, 3-fighter, 4-fighter parlays, or whatever you're doing, it almost like is worth it just to throw in one of these, or to do it occasionally with pick'ems. If you like a fighter, like, go with them. Be right, Don't be crazy, but I do like Miranda Maverick's experience. There was just there's not much to nitpick about Erin. She looked good, so we're gonna roll with her. Andre Muniz taking on Eric Anders. Andre, 21-4 in the UFC. He's a good grappler. Sorry, he's not 21-4 in the UFC. He's 3-0 in the UFC. He's 21-4 professionally. Eric Anders, 14-5. He's on a 1-fight win streak. Beat Stewart. I think how Eric Anders wins this is probably it's fought somewhere on the feet, Andre Muniz, he does have 4 losses, and those 4 losses do happen to be KOs. I don't have my phone with me. This just popped into my head. I kind of like the finish in this, because, like, Muniz, 3-0, he's going to be searching for the submission. He's going to have an advantage on the ground. Eric Anders, plus 130. He's the underdog. He does have some KO power. He has the ability to, maybe clip Andre. I kind of like inside the distance in this. And then if you're going to... you can't really pick, like, a type of finish, right? Because it's submission or KO is what I'm kind of throwing out there. Andre submission, Anders KO. But I do like that a lot, actually. Anders, pretty decent takedown defense. You look at it, it's at 76%. Muniz, though, he's a good fighter. I think he does a good job of, he's not too crazy on the feet, very conservative, but he uses that to set up the takedown. Yeah, so I mean, it's a crazy fight. I'm gonna roll with Andre Muniz. Yeah, I just like his ability to potentially win this one via submission. Anders has 0 submission losses, but I kind of like the submission for Andre. There is no prop bet, but like that I looked up the odds on, but I don't think the fight's gonna go the distance in this one. I really don't. The next fight. Okay, so we get through the prelims, and now we're on to the prelims. We got Jordan Wright taking on Bruno Silva. Bruno Silva, he looks like Rudy Gobert to me. You know Rudy Gobert? Utah Jazz center? I just had to point that out. Very similar to me. I thought that the last time he was fighting too. Bruno Silva, amazing fighter. Big time power. I would say he's looked really good in the UFC. Jordan Wright is gonna present some danger, but Bruno Silva's carrying minus 365 odds for a reason. He's 2-0. He looked great versus Sanchez. He looked great versus Turman. Jordan Wright, what he's going to bring to the table. He does, all 12 of his wins are finishes. He does have, some exciting style, but he's got the style where it's more of a karate style. He's going to throw a lot of kicks, a lot of, I would say, maybe not so good defense, like similar to, what's her name? Priscilla, absorbs a lot of strikes, but he pushes the action. He's exciting. Who's going to wear the shots better? I think Silva's going to connect more often, and his shots are going to be more damaging than Jordan Wright in this fight. We're going to go with Bruno Silva. If you want to bet on a KO for either fighter, that's minus 330. I don't think that's a bad bet, especially if you like Bruno Silva. Minus 330, you get two guys with crazy, knockout potential. And so that's not bad. But I'm going to bet on Bruno Silva. The Silva KO minus 190. It's interesting. I might risk a little bit on that, but not much. Minus 190 is not terrific. I'll probably just go with the minus 365. I am confident in Silva. I like him. We've got our boy, Shui. Tai Tuivasa Bam Bam taking on Augusto Sakai. Even odds, minus 110, minus 110. So, Tai Tuivasa, 11 KO wins. Augusto, 11 KO wins. I like Tai a lot. I saw him fight in Chicago. Really good fighter, goes for the finish. I like his boxing. Obviously, if this fight does find the mat, it's not going to be good for Tai. Let's hope his takedown defense holds up. If Augusto does go for the takedown, but you can see, Augusto doesn't really shoot for takedowns, so I don't know if we'll see it. Maybe we see Augusto shoot for a takedown if, he gets rocked by Tai, but at that point, Tai's just probably got to backstep a little bit and let him fall, I like Tai Tuivasa in this. Tai KO is plus 140. A KO for either fighter, minus 200. Both 11 KO wins. So that's 11 out of 13 for Tai, 11 out of 15 for Augusto. Next fight, we've got Pedro Munhoz taking on Dominick Cruz. Pedro Munhoz, 19-6, one no contest. Dominick Cruz 23-3. Pedro is the favorite, which I was surprised about, at -120. Dominick Cruz plus 100. Munhoz is 1-3 in his last 4. Jose Aldo lost. Beat Jerome Rivera. Lost to Edgar. Beat Aljamain Sterling. Lost to Sterling. What am I doing? What am I saying? Yeah, I mean, he's just had a rough stretch here, but Dominick Cruz has in his own right, you know. I thought his last fight, was that against Kenny? I thought he got the split decision win. I picked him to win, so it was great, but I don't know if he should have won that, you know? He's the former champ, super unorthodox striking. Pedro Munhoz is, very good with his jiu-jitsu. I don't know. I like Dominick Cruz. I think he's super competitive. I think you see this in a few different fighters, and I think Dominick Cruz, the product of Dominick Cruz is this like hyper competitive batch of young fighters, and it's crazy. I think that's what Dominick Cruz brought, was just like more competition, more competitiveness to the division, because he was so good for so long, and he's still good. He won his last fight, right? So that's his first win, though, since the loss to Cejudo and Garbrandt back-to-back. But I'm going to roll with Dominick Cruz in this one. I think he can win it. He's plus 100. The Cruz decision is plus 150. Just throwing that out there. I think if Cruz wins, it's likely going to be a decision. Even though Pedro Munhoz is, the jiu-jitsu practitioner, I think what favors Dominick Cruz is, if Dominick Cruz, I think he's going to be the one more successful, shooting on a takedown. I don't know how much luck Pedro Munhoz is going to have. Cruz he's so crazy on the feet, it's hard enough to hit him. Are you going to be able to take him down? Maybe. I don't know. So, I don't know. And I think Dominick Cruz, he's savvy enough, crafty enough, where if he needs to get a takedown, at the end of the round and, less than 30 seconds or something, just to steal a round, secure a round, he'll figure out how to do that, and he won't be in any danger in that 30 seconds, So I like Dominick Cruz plus 100. I wish they gave us a little more on the decision at plus 150, but you can't blame him. Next fight, we've got Josh Emmett taking on Dan Ige. Josh Emmett minus 155, Dan plus 135. His last fight was a loss to Chan Sung Jung. We've seen him now get a little bit outmatched versus Chan Sung Jung and Calvin Kattar. Josh Emmett, good striker, lots of power, just super dangerous. He hasn't fought in a little while, a year and a half. I like Josh Emmett. He's 8-1 in decisions. Dan is 6-4 in decisions. Dan's probably going to have... I would expect him to have a little bit better output, maybe. But I'm not so sure. And I think Josh Emmett's shots are going to be a little bit harder than Dan. So, I'm rolling with Josh Emmett at minus 155. Yeah, I just think it comes down to like how he's gonna wear shots, Danas, and we've already seen Chen Sung Jung and Calvin Kattar like do some pretty good work to him. So I think Josh Emmett's capable of doing that, and then Josh Emmett on top of that, he's kind of big. It says he's shorter, whatever. He looks big every time he's in there. I'm rolling with Josh Emmett. And now we're on to the main card. I gotta take it out for a second. Let's see if anyone's... Oh, I got one person. Hello? We've just gotten to the main card. If you haven't, please subscribe to the channel. You'll get notified when I go live for these shows on Friday. So for the main event, we got Raulian Paiva taking on Sean O'Malley. Paiva's the underdog, plus 260. Sean O'Malley, minus 335. Paiva's 3-2 in the UFC. He is on a 3-fight win streak. I sometimes like just get enamored with the prospects that come up, and Sean O'Malley's one of them. I can't see where this fight potentially favors Paiva. I think Sean's last two fights have... Who is that? Yeah, Almeida and Munhoz. After the loss to... I can't remember his name. That's bad. Anyways, those went into the third round, and I thought he was going to punch himself out of it in both of those fights. He did that walk-off thing against Almeida, and then Munhoz, he just was applying pressure, and so the output from Sean in that fight was crazy. So I mean, is he going to get tired in this fight? Is like Paiva going to just like sit back, conserve his energy, and then blitz him at the end of rounds? Possibly. I don't know. But Sean's... He's good. He's good on the feet. So, is Paiva going to turn this into a wrestling match? I don't know. Maybe. But he's dangerous on the feet. So I'm going to go with Sean O'Malley. The Sean O'Malley KO decision is minus 280. I think that's kind of interesting. The Sean KO is plus 110. I took the Sean KO against Munhoz and Almeida. And with both of those getting into the third round, it made me nervous. So that's a great question, John. For the UFC, I would say, a lot of the, you can see the reach differential here. It's definitely a good thing for fighters, especially... I mean, you see it a lot where there's like big discrepancies in different body types. So maybe let's go to like, this is a... that's not a good example. Yeah, it's not a great... Oh, here. Probably Ryan Hall and Derrick Minor. Ryan Hall is significantly taller, but yeah, the reach advantage is important because that's like the limb of your body you're striking with. And then, but you can just like, you can just guess the different kind of body types. Like, some of the best fighters, you know, they tend to be have super long arms. There's exceptions to that, like Henry Cejudo. I don't think he was. I mean, he was 125 pounds, but I don't think he was very lanky for his weight division, and he was dominant. You know, Davison Figueroa against Brandon Moreno. Figueroa, he seems more, I would say, rangy and lengthy, but you know, he got beat by Moreno. So I don't know. It's I think in a stand-up fight, for sure, definitely reach is a huge advantage. But sometimes there's fighters and they just get into a grappling match, and yeah. So you're gonna see a big Sean O'Malley, 5'11", and he's fighting at 135. And he'll look skinny in there for sure. The next fight we've got, so just to recap, I like Sean O'Malley in that fight. The O'Malley KO decision result, minus 280. I kind of like that. You're covering, I don't think he's going to get a submission. I don't think Sean wants any part of fighting on the ground in front of fans. It's just not his style. So yeah, KO or decision, you can get a little bit better odds. What is that? 55 points. That's pretty good. Kai Kara France taking on Cody Garbrandt. So Cody Garbrandt going down in weight from 135 to 125. And this is crazy. Cody Garbrandt, he's got shorter arms. You can see Kai Kara France, yeah, shorter height, longer arms. So this is a great example. So I like Kai Kara France in this fight. I think Cody Garbrandt's super exciting, but he's 1-4 in his last 5. I thought what made him look good in the run up to Dominick Cruz before TJ Dillashaw, I thought it was his speed. And, you know, he got the knockout versus Asuncao. Was that at the end of the second or something? But he was losing, I think. But that, like, the speed is what made him special. And now he's, like, the bigger fighter going down to a lighter weight class, and he does have a lot of power. You can see, you know, 83% of his wins come via KO. You know, he's just a little bit erratic, and Kai Kara France is really talented. I'm not sure if he's like, I'm not sure where what the power translation is going to be. I'm not sure what the speed difference is going to look like. It's super interesting. Kai Kara France is actually the underdog at plus 115. Garbrandt's minus 135. I think I got to take Kai Kara France. I think I got to take him in this. I just think he's more well-rounded. You know, you gotta be careful for sure. Garbrandt is explosive, but he is a little bit reckless, in my opinion. I do have a prop bet. I do like a KO finish. Either fighter, minus 150. I love that. Garbrandt's minus 135, Kai Kara France plus 115. You could get either of them via knockout for minus 150. I like that a lot. Because, yeah, that's I think that's going to be both their game plan heading into this. If one's more likely to win a decision, I think it's going to be Kai Kara-France. I do. Jeff Neal taking on Santiago Ponzinibbio. Santiago is 29-4. He's on a 1-fight win streak. Jeff Neal, 2-fight losing streak. He lost to Neil Magny and Thompson. Jeff Neal is -105 odds. Santiago -115. It's a pick'em. It's a pick'em for sure. I mean, stylistically, Jeff Neal maybe a little more active as far as like his feet movement. Santiago more stationary, but both dangerous on the feet. Jeff Neal, his only 2 losses in the UFC. That was Magny and Thompson, who are very, very good stand-up strikers. And Santiago is a little bit different than those guys. Not the same output. This is an interesting fight. I think I like the knockout prowess of both of these guys. So again, the knockout, I wrote down pick'em KO ? -175 for either fighter. Just if anyone gets a knockout, that's -175. Yeah, I think I favor Jeff Neal in this on the money line if I'm gonna pick someone. And that just comes down to, like, I think both are capable of winning via knockout. I think Jeff Neal is more capable maybe of winning a decision than Santiago, if it does go to that. So that's where I give the lean to Jeff Neal. In the next fight, you've got Amanda Nunes taking on Juliana Pena. So Amanda Nunes is the GOAT of female MMA. She is the greatest of all time. 2-division champ. You can see the double champ status in the picture. She's showing it off. She's beat everyone the UFC's put in front of her. Let's see. I wrote down some different stuff, just in case you don't know who Amanda Nunes is. So her last fight was in 2000. Her last loss was in 2014. So since then, she's on a 12-fight win streak. She's beaten fighters like Valentina Shevchenko twice. She's beaten Holly Holm. She's beaten Miesha Tate. She's beaten Ronda Rousey. She's beaten, you pretty much you name them in the 135-pound division. 140. What's the other? Yeah, it's 145. Are they still continuing that? Yeah, I guess she's the belt holder. So those 2 divisions, she's beaten everyone. Cyborg. She had those crazy fight against Cyborg. They just came out swinging at each other. Yeah, so she's like the best, And then Juliana Pena, very good wrestler, but like if we're doing SWOT analysis, right? What her strengths are, grappling. But then, like, you introduce, like, the scenario, like, you're fighting Amanda Nunes, and it's like, all right, never mind. Like, Amanda's probably better there. Striking. Amanda's better there. So, Amanda, -1,000 odds, and she warrants it. So, like, for her and Shevchenko, the bar is just, like, a little bit higher. When you're considering wagering money on them. the bar is a little bit higher, because what are you going to do at minus 1,000 odds? With the dollar, you're getting back, what, a penny? So, yeah, $1.01. No one wants that. So, yeah, the bar is just really high. It is a 5-round match, right? Which Amanda's been there many times. I think Amanda is going to get a finish. And I think everyone's disappointed if she doesn't, including herself. That's like where the bar is set. I like the KO, but I like the finish. So for a KO, it's minus 165. For a KO or submission, it's minus 330. Juliana Pena, plus 2,800 for a knockout. The only way she could possibly win, in my opinion, is just like, you sting her, and then you get some weird ground and pound finish. But I'm scribbling it out. So, like, you're super confident on Amanda Nunes, but you gotta be like, but you've handicapped it, right? So now you're like, you're not betting on minus 1,000, right? So don't, like, she's not a minus 1,000 favorite to knock out Juliana Pena. You know what I mean? That's why you're switching, is to get better odds. So don't treat it like it's a guarantee. So I like the chances of it happening. I think the bar is super high for, like I said, fighters like Valentina Shevchenko and Amanda Nunes. I think she is way better than Juliana Pena. But, it's not, betting on the KO is not the same as betting on Amanda Nunes. Or betting on the finish isn't the same as betting on Nunes. So just be careful. Don't overextend yourself on a bet like that. It's stupid. All right, and then we've got the main event. This is a crazy fight. Both fighters have had amazing, last few years, I would say. But really amazing years this year. Dustin, obviously, got the back-to-back wins over Connor, which was terrific for him. Charles Oliveira, he took the belt, ended up beating Michael Chandler. Charles Oliveira is 31-8 in the UFC. Dustin Poirier 28-6. Charles is going to be the underdog at plus 120. Dustin Poirier favored at minus 140. Oliveira, he's on a 9-fight win streak. He's an incredible jiu-jitsu artist. Arguably, for sure the best at 155, but arguably the best in the UFC. Just outstanding submission artist, outstanding grappler, really dangerous there, and he's gotten a lot better on the feet throughout this 9-fight win streak he's on. He did get dominated a little bit in the first round versus Michael Chandler. He didn't look good. So I think if you're Dustin, and if you've watched Dustin's last fights, he finished kind of early in both. Kind of goes out there and gets the finish, right? Or he's ready he comes ready to fight right away. So I think if you could go out there and maybe push the pace like Chandler did in round 1, like that, Oliveira didn't look good, and Poirier's probably a little bit more dangerous striking than Chandler. That's probably the formula right there for Dustin. I think there's no chance this fight goes the distance. Neither does Vegas, minus 360 odds. I say no chance like it's a guarantee. Again, these are just put probably in front of every guarantee. The Charles submission, plus 300. Dustin KO, plus 110. We'll give Dustin the advantage on the feet. We'll give Charles the advantage in the grappling exchanges. And yeah, it's a close fight. I think it's Dustin who wins this. He's got, his last loss was Khabib. Take out that loss. He's on an 8-fight win streak. Eddie Alvarez, Conor twice, Gaethje. Did I say Eddie Alvarez? He's the Dan Hooker. He's 8 fights he's won. So he's done some work in his last dozen fights as well. So I think he's a good fighter. I did, my brain told me to pick him against Conor, but this cardboard cutout of him would have snuck into my room and probably gutted me like a fish if I did that. So I chose Conor. I put money on Conor. Bad move. Dustin. I think he's Dustin Diamond Hands Poirier, right? Oh, no, he's Dustin the Diamond Poirier. Okay. Close. Yeah, I'm diamond handing those stonks. So we'll go with Dustin Poirier, minus 140. Like him on the KO at plus 110. When I'm thinking of like round robins that I would put together for this, right? Let's talk about that, because that's often what I like to do, right? Let me highlight some things. So Jillian Robertson, right? I'm doing a round robin, assuming I'm imperfect. I'm not gonna get every single fight I pick, right? So we've got 14 fights on the card. My pick percentage here is about 70%, right? Oh, this is freaking genius. Big brain. Where's my calculator? Forgot my phone's downstairs. This is insane. All right, we're coming up with a betting game plan, right? A KO bets game plan. Here, actually, I'll just I'll share this screen with you guys so you can see what we're doing, right? It's a little disorganized, right? This is like kind of what I look at here. So what did I say? 14 fights? Yeah, 14 times 0.7. 9.8. So that means on an average week, we're getting 9.8 fights. You can't get 9.8 fights right. So we're getting 9 fights right in a week, right? So what is like, you know what I mean? What is like a savage? So that's our number, right? Let's say, and let's go conservative, right? Let's be a little bit smart here. 9. We're gonna get 9 out of 14 correct, right? Now, what is... If we don't want to bet on a 9-fight parlay, alright? It's a little crazy. You know what I mean? It's a lot of money, too. And then if you don't hit it and you get like 6 right, you know what I mean? So, and out of the fights I'm going to pick, it's going to be even less than this. I'm just trying to help you formulate something. So maybe if I'm like going to get 9 fights, being conservative, like 9 of these fights correct, I would max it out at like 4 being like for parlays being like pretty good. If you want to get risky, do 5, you know, but just like split that number right in half and don't chase nothing too crazy. If you want to do a crazy parlay, like put $1 on it as a side bet, but don't do it in your round robins. Feel me? Let's go back to the browser page here. Let's talk about fights. So Jillian Robertson minus 410. I already gave my thoughts. I don't love that fight against Priscilla. Randy Costa for sure. Let's put Randy Costa. The money line minus 170. Let's put that in a round robin. Ryan Hall versus Derrick. No chance. Now this is an interesting one, right? Miranda Maverick versus Erin Blanchard. Because I said I'm going with Erin Blanchard because she's plus 120, right? And if I'm gonna throw her in a round robin, and if she hits, like, it's gonna be a little bit more money, right? And it is a pick-up. I haven't seen anything bad, so I'm gonna put a little mark next to that, right? So now we're 4 fights in, and we picked one we like, one more experimenting with, right? Andre Munhoz against Eric Anders. Yeah, I like Andre. Minus 150. I would put him in there. I think he's dangerous. Bruno Silva. Minus 365. No problem. Tai Tuivasa. Minus 110. Absolutely. See now, Dominick Cruz. Like, plus 100. I think the fight to go the distance is minus 200. You know, just circling back to a couple fights like Augusto Sakai against Tai Tuivasa. I'm confident on Tai. But a KO for either fighter, minus 200. You know, and that's a likely outcome for either fighter if they win. So, I think the fight to go the distance, Pedro Munhoz versus Dominick Cruz at minus 200. I think I'd like that a little bit better, but Dominick Cruz at plus 100, you just got to see, like, you know, plug in the numbers, see what it does to your odds, see if you like it a little bit more then. But probably a decision is a wise bet in that, I would say. Next fight, Dan Ige against, I don't know if it's Ige or Ige. Josh Emmett, minus 155 for Josh Emmett. Probably keep this one off. I do like Josh Emmett, but I understand that that's more of like just a fighter I like. Maybe I should let you guys follow along here. These are the guys. Paiva against Sean O'Malley. I like the Sean O'Malley KO or decision at minus 280 in my round robin, or Sean O'Malley minus 335. Like Silva, no big deal, honestly, to me. Kai Kara France, we're taking another underdog in this. Almost like the KO finish at minus 150, more than taking Kai Kara at plus 115, but I'm pretty confident Kai's going to win this one. Cody, he hasn't looked good. He hasn't. And I think what made him special was his speed, right? Because the technique's not, like, the chin floats a little bit. His best performance was versus Cruz, for sure. Dominick Cruz, but Cruz doesn't really, like, hit super hard. And Cody Garbrandt had a big speed advantage, was a lot younger, too. So I think kind of what made Cody special is not in this fight. It doesn't exist in this fight. It's in the 135-pound realm, not in this world. Pick'em KO, Jeff Neal versus Santiago. I like the finish in this, minus 175. I like Jeff Neal, minus 105, but it is a pick'em. It is a pick'em. KO finish is in my parlay round robin. Not parlay. And so is Kai Kara France. Jeff Neal. Not in my round robin. I like him. Not in my round robin. This fight is not. Nunes. It's almost like best to just put it. If you do KO submission minus 330, it's not, minus 165 like the KO, but it's a little safer. I don't know about that one. You know what? We'll do KO sub minus 330. As opposed, if you want to get aggressive, do the KO minus 165. But I do think the bar and the standard is there. Like, yeah, she should go for the finish, but I think it's fair to do the KO and submission. Charles Oliveira taking on Dustin Poirier. We got Poirier minus 140. Fight does not go the distance, minus 360. Yeah. I don't know what I like for this the best. I tend to agree that the fight's not going to go the distance, but it could. Right? These are two tough guys. But I don't think so. Minus 360. 5 rounds. That might be the one I would put in there. Dustin minus 140. I do like Dustin a lot. Yeah, I don't know if Charles is going to have a good time trying to take him down, though. So I'm gonna go with Dustin Poirier. I like Dustin to win this fight. I don't know if I'll put it in my yeah, I'll probably put Dustin in my round robin and say forget about the minus 360. I gotta read. Well, just shoot me a message if you want my round robin picks. I'll give you a good round robin pick where you could, you know, maybe risk like a little bit of money and it wouldn't be bad. What's your guys' bet strategy typically for UFC? I mean, I think the only really problematic lines I notice on the card, where it's just like, I don't know if I like that, is Jillian Robertson. I do kind of question Ryan Hall at minus 200. Amanda Nunes, that just forces you to look, you know, look elsewhere, so. Yeah, just shoot me a message. I'll give you those picks, John, if that's you still in the chat. All right, I'm going to let everyone go. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the fights if you're tuning in for them tomorrow. Definitely let me know how you do. Let me know who you like in the main event. Let's do a fun, real quick prop bet. Like, all right. Let me find an interesting one. Okay. What round does Augusto Sakai versus Tai Tuivasa end in? Round 1, round 2, round 3, or decision? Leave it in the comments. Everyone, have a fantastic Friday. Maybe see you Sunday, maybe not though. Just wedding calls. So I'll bring my stuff with me. Try and get up and do it, but maybe not. Good night, everyone.